YuGiOh 101 card review, hit a review a card, and the new challengers what we're looking at here is Goblin Beggar. And it is an Earth Fiend effect monster, level 4 attack, 1000 defense, 2000 description. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, add one Goblin card from your deck to your hand unless your opponent adds one card from their hand to your hand to negate this effect. So, what we're looking at here is them trying to attempt to make the goblins an official, supported archetype now. You know, the goblins were just kind of like scattered cards. Like they had like scrap goblin that belonged to like the scrap archetype. Then you had um, Goblindenberg. Then there's uh, uh, Goblin Attack Force. Then there's second Goblin Network with Orc. Then there was all these other goblin cards, you know what I mean? Like they were just scattered all over. So now you have something that can search out those goblin monsters. Um, even though it's not all that good. Now, obviously, like you're gonna have to boost this thing's attack because 1,000 attack isn't gonna do shit. So having something like Dark World Shackles to lower the opponent's attack down to 100, that can do something. Uh, Shrink or pretty much anything is pretty much something that you would want to do. I would be willing to say that if you have a good strategy, then your opponent would more than likely give up one of their cards. But I don't think that it would ever happen because, for one, who would want to give up any cards that they have in their hand? Like for real, like I don't see that happening. I'm not saying it won't happen. It won't happen, but I don't see that happening. You know, like your strategy is like too important to not. I mean, there's not any good goblin cards in the game currently for them to even worry about them giving up a card to negate it. So at the moment, this effect isn't anything to worry about. Now, I would say like 4 to 5 formats down the line, yeah, maybe they'll have some goblin cards that would make that search more effective or feel like more of a threat. But right now, it's like, what do you have to search for? You know what I mean? Like, what is there to search for? Maybe Goblin King. Maybe you can do something with him. I mean, like with it, but I don't know. I just don't see it. Of course, you can search it out with Giant Rat, get it on the field. But again, it all goes back to the fact that it has no attack. 1,000 attack is shit these days. Like, if you're playing with a monster that has 1,000 attack, you might as well be playing with Karibo. Not saying that Karibo has 1,000 attack. I'm saying like the uselessness between the two. Trying to use Karibo as a beat stick is kind of like ridiculous without, you know, those support cards, and using this as a beat stick is kind of equally as ridiculous as using a beat stick as Karibo or using Karibo as a beat stick. So, yeah, you're really gonna have to do some serious, um, yeah, like you probably have to use a card like Hate Buster for this, because I don't see how. I mean, yeah, like you would probably more than likely have to use cards like Fairy Box or something to, in order for this thing to cause battle damage, you would have to use it defensively rather than offensively. Like you're gonna have to catch your opponent off guard. You're gonna have to use cards like Fairy Box, like I said, or something that can lower your opponent's attack way down. You know, and or to clear your opponent's side of the field off so that this card can make a direct attack. Now, speaking of direct attacks, now that I'm thinking about it, um, what was that card? Secret Pass to the Treasures. That's the card that I'm thinking about. You can target a monster that has 1,000 or less attack in it, and that monster can attack your opponent directly that turn. So, now that I think about it, you can use that to inflict battle damage to your opponent and get that search off. But again, I don't think it's worth it giving up a card to negate this effect. Because right now, at this current time in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's nothing good to search for. Like, there's no good Goblin cards to search for. You know, uh, at the most, I could say that you have Goblin King, but yeah, maybe it'll be better if you use it in like a different archetype to search out another goblin monster that, again, cards like Scrap Goblin or um, Goblin Beggar, you know, like cards like that that you can actually do something with. Um, yeah, I don't really see this card being too much of a threat, at least right now. So, but I'm pretty sure like they're going to introduce new goblin monsters that's going to make that effect more effective and make it something that your opponent would have to give up a card for. But right now, I just don't see it. So, link to this card is going to be in the description. You guys can check it out, and I'll see you for the next card review. Peace.